Every great general who sits at a table with his staff needs that one fearless guy with him. If I had played things my way since getting out of jail, me and Andrew would probably be back in jail right now. But the first day I got out, I thought, you know what, screw it, just put a camera on, just tell the whole world what's going on, and let them take me away live on stream. That's me. But also I feel like I can inspire him to make a few bolder and braver decisions in life because of my counsel. So I'm very much one of his councilmen, but he does need me at the table. Without that guy, you're just gonna be a pussy. I mean, me and Andrew have been a team a very long time, and we made a lot of money before we ever blew up on the internet. There was a time when me and Andrew could barely pay the rent. He was training and he was fighting full time. He was a kickboxing one-time world champion, I think, at the time. And I was selling windows. Now, I'm a great salesman. So I was bringing home 1,000 plus British pounds per week. So I would come home every day. I say, oh, I made this much sales, etc. I'll pay the rent. You keep fighting, because I was helping to support his kickboxing career. One day, Andrew looks at me and he says, you know what, Tristan, I'm just gonna start selling for the same company you're selling for. We could bring $2,000, $3,000 into the house a week. We'll have a good life. We'll make money. And I said, Andrew, no, you can't do that. You can't do that, because if you are spending all your time chasing sales leads and knocking on people's doors like I am, then you're never going to find the time to discover something better, to discover something that's going to take us out of this crappy apartment. It's going to take us out of this crappy life. Even back then, when I was willing to work away selling windows, I was willing to sell windows to let Andrew continue to have time to train, but also have time to think. You know, people will often try to, I guess, pit me against Andrew, which is the stupidest idea in the world. But they'll say stupid things to me like, your brother's more famous than you. And I'll say, yeah, my brother's more famous than you. Like, what's the big deal? If your brother were Mike Tyson, for example, and someone said your brother's a better boxer than you, you'd be like, yeah, my brother's Mike Tyson. If my brother became the world's richest man, and I had to stay at this level, I'd be like, yeah, my brother's the world's richest man. I'd be proud of him. And I don't see anything wrong with that. It's not a competition, we're a team. I'll come down in the morning, 7 a.m. Andrew's at his laptop. There's an exercise we hate doing. You put 30 kilograms on a burpee bar, or you do a burpee, lift it above your head, and you do it 150 times. It's tiring, it's horrible. So I'll do them and I'll say, you know, Andrew, you're a pussy. Why haven't you done it yet? Then he'll do them. And then I'll go do them again, just because. I know if I do them, he has to do them. People can see it as two men competing against each other, or you can see it as two men within the same house, getting stronger and pushing each other to become stronger. When we're racing around racetracks, the fact that he will drive faster than me will inspire me to do better in myself. Then, me and my brother as a team are better drivers. It's not two men competing against each other. And he's always been the better kickboxer. Like a girl I knew once said, oh wow, you hit the pad so hard. Can you beat Andrew in a fight? I'm like, no. When I try to punch Andrew, like I punch nothing. I hit air and he ends up counter punching. So he's always been the better kickboxer. But I could take that and be like, you know what, good. He's the 4-time world champion, good. That's my brother. It's us against the world. There's no victory competing against your brother. And we grew up in Luton as a huge Asian diaspora, I guess. Lots of Indians, lots of Pakistanis, lots of Sikhs, lots of Muslims. And we knew a guy named Bali. He was a lawyer, probably 50,000 pounds a year. And he drove a 400-pound Ferrari and a 500,000-pound Rolls Royce sometimes. And we were saying, like, do you think Bali's a drug dealer? What do you think he's up to? And he looked at us one day. I said, Bali, how do you have all this money? How do you get these fancy cars when you're just a lawyer? And you're relatively young. He was like 26, 27, about 5 or 6 years older than I was at the time. And Bali's exact answer was, I remember he said, you white people are stupid. Now, I'm mixed race. He wasn't talking anything racial. He was talking about, I guess, native British people. He says, you will have 5 sons, or your father may have 5 sons, which for someone in my culture, he said, that's a jackpot. And this Englishman's 5 sons will all move out of the family home. They'll pay 5 rents, probably to people like me. They'll take 5 different student debts out, go out 5 different career paths. They'll get 5 different mortgages, marry 5 different women, and never see each other again. You see, my father had 5 sons. Now, I'm a lawyer. My brother's a dentist. My father's an engineer. My other brother owns a construction company. And every single skill set that they needed to flourish was within the household. So we all live in the family home. We pool our resources. Our women work together and prepare food for us. And every time that we have new children or the family is expanded, we just expand the house. My brother owns a construction company. And that way, as a group, we have 3 Toyotas, 1 Ferrari, and 1 Rolls Royce. And we can all use them anytime we like. That was what introduced me and Andrew, because we were flat broke at the time. We had nothing to share. To the idea of certainly, you know what, if we can buy a supercar together, one nice car, then we can just share that car. It introduced us, I guess, to the concept of pooling your resources and sharing. And you know what? He's 100% right. That is a lesson you can learn from the Indians, from the Pakistanis. So sometimes people will ask me, there'll be 5 cars on the drive, and you know, girls especially who are naive to these things will be like, which ones are yours and which ones are Andrew's? My honest answer is I don't actually know. I have to look at the papers to work out exactly what, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The keys are in this box, in that room, and we can drive them whenever we like. And we never argue because there's so many. And when you build that abundance and you build yourself to the level of wealth me and Andrew are at, what are we going to argue about? There were times when we were kickboxing where we didn't have money for food. We used to eat cans of sardines, and there have been times splitting our last can over plain rice. So now people are like, oh, it's weird that you share a house with your brother. I'm like, it's weird that you don't. I used to share my last can of food with him, and now we can't live in the same house. I've got 9 bedrooms. It's not like we're cramped for space. Otherwise, we just live in 2 separate houses with 4.5 bedrooms each, and what, drive to each other's houses every day? It wouldn't make sense. Andrew is the hardest working man I've ever met. Even with the lifestyle he lives now, and as fun as it looks, and it is fun, even if we are in a luxury hotel in the south of France where you're paying $10,000 per room, Andrew will be up at 7 o'clock in that hotel gym. He'll message me at 8:30. I have to wake up next to God knows who. Whiskey spilled all over the desk. But again, that inspires me. Andrew will be like, emergency meeting in my room. And he'll bring up tiny issues with the business that, I could have slept on quite happily. But again, it's like me doing the exercise when he won't. It pushes me to be a better person. And Andrew will happily work 15, 16 hours a day and then go out and spend 4 or 5 hours having fun and blowing loads of money. It doesn't come from the sky. It's not magic. We're not trust fund kids. We didn't win the lottery. He is the hardest working man I have ever met. And the fact that I can even live with him and try to keep up is a testament to me, because it's difficult. People don't see the work. Me and Andrew, we're in good shape. I don't post training videos and fitness progress videos. I just do the work and let the results speak for itself. In terms of money and in terms of business and success, that's Andrew. Everyone's like, oh, well, how does he have all this money? Maybe he's a criminal. I know why he has all this money, because he's sitting right there at that desk at least 10 hours a day, even when we're not on house arrest. He'll be out in the evenings having his fun. And that's what we'll show to the world. This whole, hey, look at me, I'm at my laptop and I'm gonna grind away for 6 hours. Like, no one wants to see that. It's boring. They wanna see you driving the Bugatti with a cigar in your mouth and a beautiful girl next to you. But that doesn't come without sitting at that desk for a good while first.